What's up, Jen? You ready to go?
I don't know how this happened to me, everybody. Sivel Group, Real Estate Ramblings, Episode 18, the year-end wrap-up. Hey, everybody. It's been a little while. We've been selling houses and developing some properties and haven't given this podcast as much as our priority as it needs to be, but lucky you, because Michael Sivel has stored it all up and is ready to just regale us with his rants. It's kind of role reversal time for you guys that don't realize it or don't know it and aren't part of our regular audience, which is all of two people. Usually I write the outline and come up with a theme for the podcast, and then Michael brings in the music and, of course, some of the color. Well, it's role reversal time because I wasn't even sure we were going to get a podcast in by the end of the year, and then on my desk drops a small outline and lots of ideas from Michael Sivel. So you're all in for it today. Michael, do you want to start with why you were late today? Because we were all here waiting for you, and you were late and dropping in the music late. So I guess you can go through, one, your intro music as usual, and two, why were you late?
Well, one, Good Times is just a classic. And, this time of year, it's Good Times. So I figured I'd open up with that. And I was late getting to the party here because I was in email hell, which is turning into a daily occurrence. And the thing about it is, it's 80% spam. I mean, from, our peers, which is fascinating to me, the amount of newsletters that I get from agents. And
which, to be clear, we're calling them newsletters, and that's what we call them with our colleagues, but they're template stock emails.
I mean, some of them are the exact same
templates.
Exact same.
Yep.
And what fascinates me is do people not care or curate their email lists? Or is it just I got 4,500 people in my contacts, so I'm just going to spam everybody? And what they don't, I guess, care to recognize is when there's how many thousand agents?
Yeah, we're all getting the same
right?
stuff. Not
Not everybody sends newsletters, not everybody's out there doing their fit for the day, their drip. Not everybody's going through what they're eating. But a lot.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, realtors have become these mini social media influencers. And I want to give a shout out to my boy Andy Kaplan.
If he's listening.
Probably not. But
he might be.
I mean, Andy and I, we've had quite a few sidebars about this. I think he likes to maybe egg me on or stir the pot, knows what buttons to hit. But I mean, my email is inundated.
As inundated as our Instagram feeds, basically. Inundated with information that's not even useful information.
But what I don't understand is, social media, I get. We follow people, it shows up, I get it. They're out there doing their thing, God bless them. I'm not going to get in front of the camera, although all you people want me to talk about my Vans and my jeans or my visit to Boyd's. It's just not going to happen.
Or your same pair of jeans or chinos or Vans.
Look.
Day in.
You buy
and day out.
You buy 6 of the same things.
Day out.
It looks the same, but it's 6.
None of
if
us
it
are
fits and it works, you stick with it.
None of us are begging you to get in front of
if
the camera.
If it fits and it works, you stick with it.
Nobody cares what realtors
hold
are wearing.
That, Jennifer, hold that thought, because if it fits and it works, you stick with it, which is kind of what we do around here. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll dive back into that. But anyway,
I know what he's getting at.
Fix your contact lists. I can't unsubscribe from you because then when you send me an offer on one of our listings, I'm not going to get it. So I get killed. I know you get killed. We get killed.
Everybody out there.
Here's our quarterly market report. You know, here's my newsletter of where I'm getting cookies this Christmas. You know, like, here's my favorite place to buy a sweater. Like,
well, I think your point is that realtors nowadays are bogging down our feeds and our emails with information that's really not pertinent to what we're doing day in and day out. I mean, do we really care what people are wearing when they're going to show houses? And are they even going to show houses because they spend so much time at Boyd's trying on outfits?
Listen, I don't spend that much time at Boyd's.
Not you.
I'm in and out. It was funny with the blazer purchase on my birthday. You know, I just turned 50. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, everybody that sent me messages. I appreciate it. It's been a rough year, you know. Lost my father, turned 50. Thanksgiving was hell. I'm worried about Christmas and New Year's. You know, the big guy's not around anymore. I'm surrounded by women. I am so thankful that my little nephew Hunter got on a plane. At least I'm going to have one other male at Christmas dinner this year. Miss you, Pop.
Nobody cares. Can we go on to what your subject was? Because your Thanksgiving and Christmas and being inundated by women that makes your life better is let us get out our violin.
I think what I'm trying to say, and maybe I've never
articulating it.
Or maybe I've never been heard before because no one listens to our podcast, is why can't our peers just clean it up? Think about what you're doing. Think about where you're sending stuff.
Care about it.
Care. I mean, everything we send out, we look at that list. Every single time.
Yeah. It's exhausting.
Yes.
And we look at what gets sent out.
But we don't want to spam people.
I also think the point is we don't send as many things out and we're not doing newsletters, those things, so that the things that we do send out, people put their eyes on and are more important. And our sellers are more important. So putting out the information we put out on our listings gets seen because what we're putting out is more important.
So let me give you an example of what happens. Right?
Yeah, because this is delete.
So this is important. So we got a call. I got a call a couple of months ago about a penthouse unit we've had listed for a while. Right? Nice gentleman coming from Central PA, tied into a pretty big organization, runs a fairly sizable foundation. Showing them Chestnut Hill. We're looking at, Woodward Rentals, walking around Pastorius Park, and we're talking, and it dawns on him who we are, some of our listings, and he goes, I was getting those emails about your Twilight Opens that then turned to muddy shoes and dusty shoes. And he goes, I finally had to unsubscribe because I was getting 4 or 5 emails a day, and I didn't want to see it anymore. And like that was something we said to the client, whose marketing team was the one sending these emails out. Like, hey guys, you can't just spam people. But I feel like that's like people just create these emails and they don't think about it and they just keep hitting send and send.
Well, what happens too is then you get hit with delete or unsubscribe, and so the actual important information that you want to be seen never gets seen because you inundate people with information that's not necessary.
It's like if a post falls in the forest and you have no followers, does anyone see it?
Right.
But now again, Justin, we have a new addition to the mix here. Mr. El Toro, Justin.
Poor Justin.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome to the club. Thank you for your help. Superstar. We're so lucky.
Anyway, we've now wasted 10 minutes on why you've been late. And the fact that everybody doesn't even realize on here that you're never in your friggin' email. So the fact that you were in your email and deleting and that's why you're late is irony in and of itself.
No. Everybody thinks I'm not in my email because I'm too damn busy in my email cleaning it up
To answer the
deleting
important emails.
to find the emails that actually matter, that are actually relevant to what we're doing day in and day out.
Okay.
So quit
All right. So moving on. The more
junking up my feed.
So more importantly, we wanted to talk about our year-end wrap-up. More importantly, we wanted to educate consumers out there a little bit on how we feel about listing properties and private exclusive properties and the difference, really just educating people, right? And our year-end wrap-up with what the Sivel Group's been up to.
Yes, so I feel like we beat a dead horse at times.
With
but I'm gonna
emails, yes.
Well, I'm off the emails.
Oh, are you?
I'm not back on the emails.
Oh,
I'm moving on now.
For all of like 10 minutes, Melissa.
What?
You'll be back.
Who's timing this? Why are you timing this?
Go ahead.
This is the end of year. This could take all day.
Oh no, I'm so sorry for everybody else.
We have lots of stuff. We have lots of ground. We have lots of ground to cover here.
And to my point, when we started this, having not done one every month, Michael Sivel is just raring to go.
And for our two listeners out there, I apologize.
My mom and his mom.
Yeah, I apologize, moms, that we have not been doing this on the reg, but we've been pretty damn busy.
We have been busy.
And
fun busy as usual, but
I think the best part about the busy, because you, Mark, and I are consistently busy. We work all the time.
We've been at it a long time.
We've been at it a long time.
Yeah.
We're fortunate with our track record, the amount of business that we do, the personal referrals that we get, the repeat business that we get because of the years that we've been in, that we're consistently busy. But I think the one thing,
it's been fun to watch, right?
What's been fun to watch?
The one thing that's been fun to watch, what you're getting at, through the year.
Oh, I thought you were going to run with something there.
No.
Oh, okay. So the one thing, as we were diving into the end of year review and just kind of looking at planning for 2025, getting our ducks in a row, and closing out what's the best year in real estate TSG and the Sivel Group has had is this past year.
Ever.
And that and certain things that are going on around us always has me look at the business differently sometimes. I look at the P&L differently, or I look at our marketing differently, and I talk to friends and we get introduced to El Toro.
I was going to say, fold in the Justins of the world.
Yeah, and so it's about community. It's about support. And the greatest thing that I noticed this year, with the year that we had, was the growth on our team from our buyer agents. And there's been so much noise with the commission lawsuit, the settlements, right? The changes that what was it? August 17th?
It was August 26th.
No, I think it was August 17th.
August 17th.
It was August 17th. And so all of a sudden this settlement was coming down the pike, and the business was going to dramatically change, right? And there was all this noise. It was months of freaking noise, to the point of
consumer confusion, realtor confusion,
paralysis.
Yeah, there was some paralysis. I would say that in July there definitely was, into August.
And it's why? Because we have to explain things a little bit differently.
We're still
because the sellers still have the same right to negotiate and the same powers to negotiate that they've always had.
Yeah.
And it's just fascinating to me, how hard of a year it's been. And I want to give kudos to our team and the agents on our team who, continue to perform at a really high level for their clients. And, I was looking at our buyer agents' performance this year.
Really, our team agents. We say buyers agents, but they list houses. Our team, our
team.
teammates,
Our team. And what struck me was with all that noise and all the challenges and everything that came down the pike. We've got 17.
I think there's 17 of us total.
Yeah, 17,
including you and Mark and I.
Okay, so 14
ish.
Half. Okay, half.
Yeah.
Half increased their business by over 50%.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's what I was getting at. It's been fun to watch. Like, not only are we busy, it's really fun to watch these guys grow and grow their business. It's fun to watch clients put them into this category and are comfortable with them and are running with them with a level of business that's just, it's been awesome to watch.
I mean, I've been getting
the confidence is
I've been getting stopped on the street
it's pretty
recently to be told what an amazing job so and so did or so and so's doing, and how awesome it is to work with them and your team. Sometimes they mention Melissa and Morgan.
I mean, we're the most important part of the team.
But so I started to look at that, and I mean, that to me, other than the things that we do individually, you, Mark, and I, which is a lot, that's like the greatest thing I liked about the end of year kind of review wrap up, like pulling things together, was to see that growth. And I know we look at it quarterly, and I look at the numbers every Friday, but to see it at the end with that sort of growth is pretty spectacular. And so, I mean, my hat's off to the members of the team for not getting bogged down in the noise, continuing to operate at a really high professional level, and support their buyers and sellers. More importantly, their buyers in what is still arguably a very challenging buyer's market.
Yeah, we still have very low inventory.
And they're out there getting it done.
Day in and day out. I think we're also very fortunate to have a culture here where everybody works together and where we see everybody daily in this office, which makes it really fun to watch that growth, and it makes it fun to see their clients come in with the confidence and the relationship that they have with them. Has been really fun to watch. And I think our culture, I think we're very fortunate to have the office space we have with the people in it that we have on a daily basis is pretty awesome. And it's fun. So and it makes it fun for us, and it makes it fun to come to work. Absolutely. But to circle back to an year-end wrap-up, Michael, and where you were going with numbers, it's fun to see the growth and the growth of our buyers agents and our teammates. But overall, the Sivel Group has grown immensely.
Yeah, we had our best.
So we've had our best year we've ever seen.
Yep.
We've had some of the biggest sales we've had in a long time. And all doing this while...
What do you mean in a long time? I mean, that's like every day.
Yeah, right.
That's what we're talking about.
I forgot.
Stop being so modest.
So do you want to go into year-end wrap-up where we
are?
Are you saving that for the end?
I don't want to do that.
You're saving that for the end.
No, I mean,
you're saving that for Justin's.
I mean, take the script.
Finale.
I kind of took the script and threw it out the window.
As usual.
Well,
story of my life.
Because I was thinking about like, this is how we do it. I was thinking about like, we come to work. Our team, you, Mark, and I, we operate a certain way, day in and day out.
We take a lot of pride in that.
Yes. And we try to do our best all the time. It's competitive out there, right? There's a lot of mixed feelings about some of that competition.
But in this business, your competition can be your colleague at times, depending on the property, and you've got to do your best to work together and conduct yourself in a professional manner. And so sometimes that can be challenging, but you do your best. Yeah,
so stop spamming people. Anyway, so, but we grew up competitively. You know, some of us were better Division One athletes than others, all Americans and goalkeeping and things like that. And so competition, I think, is something that we like.
Thrive on sometimes.
Yeah. And we don't always win, right? I mean, that's okay. We try to win for our buyers as much as we can, and we try to win
For our sellers.
well, no,
And
we
most
try to
important.
win for our buyers as much as we can, and we try to win every listing that we go.
Well, because we feel like we can put our sellers' best foot forward better than anybody, but that's like anybody else that's very competitive. But the way we conduct ourselves, we haven't changed the way we do things.
No.
And I think that
So-
that's what's most important.
Okay,
So,
so-
to get you back on
All
topic,
right, I'm getting
like
back
the
on. I'm
Sivel,
gonna.
which is what I'm trying to do. Can we get back on what you're trying
Yeah.
to
So
say
anyway,
here?
so like, okay, so the year in review led me down many different, paths, right? Most importantly, the path of our numbers, right?
Mhm.
Which I don't want to get into today because we've got a couple big fish that need to get on the boat. And then we'll close that out on Monday, I think. But it started to have me look not just at this year, but this year in comparison to other years, right? And the Sivel Group's been in existence since, oh my God. Well, I've been in the business since 99.
2004, 2005. Melissa's here.
2004,
helping.
2004
Helping.
2004 is when we started to officially
Mark
grow.
joined
Mark
in
joined.
2005, Melissa?
And then,
Yeah.
things started to happen. So there's one, like in fish world, there's 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. No one really knows when the Oers like changes, but I think it's pretty clear that things adjusted in TSG world in the end of 2015, going into 2016, when we merged TSG and you and your merry band of producers. I was going to say misfits, but
I was waiting.
I was going to say misfits, but I'm like, I can't do that to Gene. I
just
can't
to
do
CJ
that to
and
Gene.
I, not to Gene.
Yeah. So, but when you guys decide to make really a crazy leap of faith and join with the Sivel Group, merge with the Sivel Group, you became the managing partner, and Mark and I welcomed you, and we made lots of changes since then. But
And I straightened a few things out.
um,
Got us running on a pretty good clip.
the
It's
trajectory.
okay, you can say
So
that.
the trajectory that we
it took a group
that-
of women coming over from the main line. You can say
I
that.
am literally just surrounded by women.
So
Yeah, because we're awesome.
can you
Like, so
get to what you need to get to? Because I think there's
I'm
a really important
I'm getting there.
okay.
If you stop
Yeah,
cutting
yeah.
me off,
Right. Okay.
You're
I'm-
at 25.
I'm getting there. So, and
And
I just
you're gonna
lost my
blame me,
I
right,
just
you're
lost
gonna
my
blame
train
me.
of thought,
Here we go,
Ranella.
you're gonna
Once
blame me.
again,
You were going from
you know,
2015.
if you would just be
2016.
quiet every once in a while,
Right.
I'd be able to finish a
Right.
thought
Right.
and
like
we'd
drama.
get through this.
Go ahead. 2015.
So 2015,
2016.
right? 2016, you were here. Although 2015, we were rocking and rolling. We were doing deals together. You were bringing me all these buyers.
I think the right way to say it is selling all your properties.
Yeah, and I thought it'd be easier than fighting you at every turn
Mm-hmm.
to partner with you. How wrong I was. But so we've grown, and I don't want to get into the numbers, but so we've grown every single year. We've been doing over $100 million in business
A year.
for years now.
Mm-hmm.
And we won, speaking of competition, I think it was 2016 or 2017. The new kid on the block came, started buying up agents, buying up market share.
Probably like 2018. But yeah.
No, it was 2017. You were here. 2017 was when we were talking to him.
Yeah. Anyway.
And I look at like how that's played out, right, in our marketplace with that competitor, and it's leading me into, there's all this new noise, and the new noise is about
private exclusive.
No, it's not about private exclusives, Jen. It's about
cooperating.
No,
yes.
No, it's about the clear cooperation policy.
Yeah, cooperation.
Right? Yeah, cooperation.
And to just bring it back to the consumer and for everybody to understand what we're talking about here, and so that Michael can then go on, is we cooperate with another broker. When you list your house, you're listing it. If you're listing with us, you're listing with Fox and Roach, and then we cooperate, or we call cooperation, with another broker / realtor on the other end, on the other side of the deal. And that's what I call a colleague, because for that period of time, that is your colleague. But what you're going into, Michael, is you're talking about the cooperation between brokers / realtors.
Right. So now the big kid, the new big kid on the block, right? That bought up all the agents, bought up all the market share, talks about no ego, but it's like, we're number one, this, that, and the other thing, all at every turn, mm-hmm. right? Is now pushing to do away with clear cooperation policy, right? And what strikes me as like disingenuous is the fear tactics, right? The consumer of, the
fear tactics that the fear tactics pushed out to consumers that aren't as read into what's best for them.
Right, like we can test your price, like we can soft launch your listing, we can private exclusive your home.
Which, for lack of a better term, is a pocket listing to some people that don't know what it is. It's also another terminology is a pocket listing, but the way that they're doing it is more of, we're not going to cooperate, we're going to keep it all in house. And
why do they want to do that?
Because it's better for them.
They double pop. Get both sides.
Nobody knows what double pop means, though. So that's a realtor slang term. So for consumers, it means they're selling both the buy side and the sell side of the transaction.
Is that the best bet for the seller?
No.
Right. So like now.
But the fear tactic is that they're putting into place is the fact that they're saying
the fear mongering against CCP is laughable, right? They talk about days on the market. Well, it's like price it right. And your days on the market shouldn't be inflated.
Price it and position it right.
Yeah. Be strategic about representing your client.
Just throw it up on the market.
If you price it right in the first place, it's not going to sit. So they talk about the negative.
If you price it right and how you position it in the market, and you prepare it well, and you prepare your marketing well, and you put a lot of thought, like we do, into everything from photos to staging. I hate to call it staging, but preparing the house and pricing it. Then theoretically you do your job and you shouldn't have days on market.
So I looked at when they came on the scene, right? Mm. I looked at when we were talking to them, and I looked at like the path our business has taken, right? I'm a big proponent of clear cooperation. I think it's in the consumer's best interest. And all this noise and nonsense about what's the consumer's best interest is really a push to get something that's in their brokerage's best interest. And this
no doubt
nonsense that it's in the consumer's best interest is just that. It's nonsense.
Well, I think the other thing that people don't realize is this scare tactic and this tactic of let's test the market and know what we're not accruing days on market. But what happens these days is with social media and information, there is no secretly testing the market. There really isn't. And so you still, in a lot of consumers' minds, are still accruing days on market, even if it's these quiet, kind of hidden days on market. It's still out there, and people still know you were asking 2.4 for this house and it didn't sell. And it didn't sell in the first 30 days of being quietly listed. So you really aren't testing the market, and it's really not as quiet anymore with the way that information is out there. And so then when you come on the market at 1.9, you've already exhausted your market.
Well, because, there were some properties that you and I were tracking, because even when they're private exclusives.
That's my point. It's out there. We know about it.
Well,
Everybody knows about
how
it.
often are we getting a call from the private exclusive listing agent because, lo and behold, who's got buyers?
Yeah. Or it hasn't sold.
Or it hasn't sold.
But that's my point, is actually it's not so secret, and you actually are accruing days on market. And the one thing that you always talk about is your momentum, one, and your splash coming onto the market and the marketing.
So,
And
there's one in particular. It closed.
To be clear, a property.
It closed at 75% of their original number. And I think Bright at times,
the MLS.
is doing not such a great job because agents pull and relist, right? But the pull and relisting exercise doesn't even account for the soft launch. The coming soon. DM me for more info.
Which is creating days on market, and which is actually not testing the market, because that 2.3 and the loss of momentum having not come on the MLS has really hurt those sellers. And now, to your point, this one listing ends up selling at 75% of that number.
75%. And then here's one that I love. I saw this actually this morning over my coffee, and I chuckled. Because there was a post about a sold listing that we had our eyes on. And our buyers didn't want it for a bunch of different reasons. It just wasn't a house for them. But we followed it, we tracked it. This is another new shiny toy brokerage on the scene. And the post today was that the listing had over 1 million views, right? Right? That was the post.
You didn't
I didn't tell you this.
One. No, you didn't.
I was saving this
But
jewel.
I can imagine which house this is.
I was saving this jewel. This is a jewel. It had over 1 million views. Like, yippee! Amazing.
How can you get over 1 million views?
It traded for 87.5% of the original.
And days on market.
Days on market.
For 1 million views.
Days on market were over 100.
I was going to guess over 100, closer to 200 probably. To get 1 million views? Easy.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. What, like these games, it's just like, come on.
Well, and we want to do what's in the best interest of the seller/consumer. And by what you're saying, double popping or selling both sides of these deals, you're not doing what's in the best interest of the seller, and you're not creating the marketing momentum or frenzy around the property that it needs to get the best to net the best number to the seller. It's just not.
And on that note, I'm gonna pull it all together here. I'm gonna bring it all in. I'm gonna bring it home because it's a year in review.
Okay.
And I'm not here to
bore people
with my displeasure in our peers, but it's not the time of year for that.
Or not the right amount of coffee. Or not the right amount of edibles. Or not the right time of night. So go ahead.
I can't believe you just said edibles on our podcast.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Sometimes it just be like that. So, in our year review and me looking at all the numbers,
I'm waiting
and
with
looking
bated
at
breath. Waiting with bated breath over here how this is going to get pulled together. Go ahead.
Looking at the data, wanting to talk about our team's improvement. Something jumped out at me. I pulled 19118.
Which, for those of you that don't know, is the Chestnut Hill zip code.
Chestnut Hill zip code, Northwest
Philadelphia.
It's a nice market. It's where
Great place to live.
It's where our main office is. You know, we have an office in the Rittenhouse at the Harper, and we have another one Wayne Devon.
Sivel Group headquarters.
Don't. I mean, come on. Like I said. Anyway, so 19118. Top 3 sales, 2024. 603 West Hartwell. Listing agent was our boy Franz from Kerfus. You and I had the buyer. 603 West Gravers. House that we acquired, designed, built, sold. Highest spec price in 19118. There are 2 examples of houses that were listed and put right to market.
Right to market.
Neither of those 2 buyers, if this was like private,
Good
exclusive,
point.
soft launch, in my pocket, neither of those 2 buyers would have known that those properties were even on the market.
Yep.
Even on the market.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the third, kudos to Holly, sticking this one through, 14 Valley View. So 19118, 2024, top 3 sales. 603 West Hartwell, 603 West Gravers, and 14 Valley View Road. 2 listings, highest being a buyer representation. You knocked that one out of the park for those buyers, Jen, by the way. I think they should be very happy. Pretty impressive stuff. But again, all listed, all out there. 2 of those consumers never would have known about those properties
If they weren't on the market.
So if you're a seller and you actually listened to this all the way,
or just a consumer that really wanted to be educated on what's really happening in the real estate
so
market.
Mom, when it's time,
You gotta get that house on the market.
When it's time to list, there's no pocket listing. There's no selling to
There's
the neighbor
no
that
Mikey
left you
selling
a
it
note.
to the guy down the street.
Yeah, the people that leave the notes 9 times out of 10 aren't even in the
not even
picture
in the
when we're
mix.
reviewing offers
Anyway.
because they all think they're going to get a deal, and there is no deal. Is there a deal? Well, if Jen's representing you as a buyer, you're getting a deal because she's going to hammer them.
Yeah, we'll see.
So anyway,
You all have wasted, what is it, Melissa and Justin? Probably about 35 minutes of your day.
40 minutes.
40. Look at Michael. Michael pulls out a 40-minute podcast with hardly an outline and just months and months of dying to get on this microphone.
boom,
So,
boom, boom, boom,
everybody, happy holidays.
boom, boom.
Happy New Year.
Hey!
We will see you all in 2025 with the promise of a podcast a month. Poor
Yeah.
souls that are out there listening. You're going to get one of these a month. DM us with any questions. Check us out at the Sivel Group. And we'll see you in
you can
2025.
still email jason.williams@foxroach.com with any comments, concerns.
No, you can't.
The email
It'll
doesn't
forward to his
exist,
personal
so
address.
good
Love
luck
you,
with
Jason. Thanks, Justin. Good job, Melissa.
Happy
Great
New
job,
Year's.
Ranella.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to
Boom,
the
boom,
ramblings
boom,
of the
boom.
Sivel Group.
Yeah.